Hello, and in today's tutorial, you will get to know how to add drop shadows in not one, but 3 different ways. And along the way, you will also learn the logic behind each one of them before deciding what's the best one for you and what I personally believe is the best way to professionally develop drop shadows as a beginner. Welcome to the channel Sloppy to Rocky. Let's do this. So I'm going to quickly add a background first. It's 1500 by 1500 pixels background that I'll add to it. I'll now center align it and push it inwards here. And then I'll go in layers and see it's on the base. And I'm going to change its color. Come here and I'm going to change its color to this brownish earthy shade. And I'm going to go here in the layers and I am going to lock this layer. Now let's quickly add the text. I'm going to write the word shadow. Now let's go up here and press OK and come down here, select this text, use the move tool. Let's Control T and now simply drag it and make it bigger, something like this. And I'm going to press OK and bring it in the center. I'm going to make it even bigger now. Push it here, press OK. And I'm going to change its color as well. Go here on the properties, change the color to this light cream color and press OK. So the first method that I'm going to use is the one that is fastest and easiest to achieve, but it has its own limitations. But for that, we'll need to make a copy of this text. I'll go back here in the layers. I'll press Ctrl J, that'll make a copy, and I'll push the copy downwards here. And I'll change the color of this color in properties and make it black. And press OK. And you can see it if I turn off this eye, it's in the black shade. Now, so make sure that the text that is selected is the one that's below here. And now we are going to go here in the filters above here and then come down here in blur gallery and then choose path blur. And this will ask you to convert it to smart objects. And if you haven't already, it will do it for you. So I'll convert to smart objects. And now it has opened up the settings and this shows the arrow and the direction in which we can, move it and make it work for ourselves. But before we do anything with this, we'll turn off the center blur. And now when I'll move this, it will move with the direction of the arrow. So this is the preliminary step. It's very easy. Just turn off the center blur. And if you increase the speed of this, this will increase the length of the shadow. And as you can see, it's very crisp. You can also change the taper if you want to reduce it. The percentage you increase, it will keep on reducing it. But if you don't want to do that, you can keep it 0%. And in the endpoint speed, which is the endpoint here, or you can see it here, if you increase this, it will stretch it even further. Okay, but that's something that we don't want. So I'll keep it somewhere around here and you can increase the speed or reduce the speed to change the intensity of it and press OK. And that's it. That's the first step in which you can create a drop shadow. But it has certain limitations to it. And that is the one thing that I want to talk about it. And then we'll move on to the second and the third method. Now this drop shadow might look okay just to get things done. But if you watch closely, it's too sharp. And that is something that's not natural. You cannot have this kind of extremely sharp kind of shadow unless you have a very, very strong source of light, just the way we have sun, or if the light source is broad and it's right above up here, that might give this kind of shadow. I mean, instead of being a shadow, it seems more like a volumetric expansion behind. It's almost like 3D. So that doesn't look natural. It's kind of a stylized effect, but it's less real and believable in terms of having a drop shadow. So I'm going to remove this, and in the next step we will talk about the second method, which would be closer to being more realistic. So let's just remove this. In fact, I'll just delete this whole layer. And yes, and we are back to what we had originally. And now we'll start working with this one again. So how do we begin to get a more realistic drop shadow? Well, for that, let's select this text layer and I'll double click on it and this will open up the layer styles. And if we go here, right below here, we have the drop shadow. So I'm going to press tick, I'm going to select it. And here, if I click on it, we get all the features of a drop shadow. Now it's currently set on a multiply blend mode with the black color. Since we want a shadow, so it's going to be a black color, so I'm not going to change that. The opacity is set at 35%. Let's just increase it for the moment and make it 100% so that you can see the sharpness or the darkness of the color. We'll adjust later on. Now the angle is 90 degrees, which means the light source is right above here on the top. And that is why you see the shadow extended downwards. If you can't see it clearly, I'll increase the distance this is the distance of the drop shadows. If we increase this, you can see the shadow is going downwards. We can also increase the spread, which means how far it's going outside, which will increase the amount of spread. So you can see it's spreading out, but it's also filling out that area, which makes it looks as if it's some sort of sharp shadow, which is not real. The spread will make sense only when we increase the size. So when we increase the size, we can see it gets blurrier. And now if we increase the spread, it will fill it up. So in this way, we can use the spread. So the spread is limited between how much the distance is it and how big the size is it. Otherwise, it won't make much difference, and it kind of increases the intensity of the shadow. Now, since the light source is being imagined at an angle of 90 degrees, which is right at the top, so it's falling downwards. Now, if we move it to here, something like this, that means the light source is here and the shadow is now diagonally falling in this direction, which is more natural. So in this way, you can have a simple drop shadow. So if we really think about of a 45-degree angle, now if this is 90 and we want to increase it in this direction, so we add 45, which makes it 135. So this is going to be a perfect diagonal. Now I can press OK, and with this you have a drop shadow, which is a lot more realistic since it's blurrier, and based on the light source, it's in this direction. It's not that sharp volumetric. So this is a simple, straightforward method of creating a drop shadow. But this also has a limitation to it, which is the fact that if I increase the size of it and we go closer in here, we can see the shadow is completely dark. It's very black, which makes it kind of unnatural. In real life, whenever an object casts a shadow on a surface, there is also reflected light around us, which means if there is light around the source or light around the object where the shadow is falling, it will not create 100% black area because the light would enter here as well, what we call as the reflected light. So that is why the intensity of the darkness is usually lesser. And there's one more thing, that is the color of the things, of the surfaces around us. That also blends in. So a realistic shadow will never be this dark, and it will also be affected by the objects that are present around it. So we will have to keep that in mind and compensate for all those things to try to make a realistic shadow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one more copy of this. So I'll close this and we'll select this and I'll press Ctrl J and I'll rename this as shadow full black, and we'll rename this as shadow realistic. And now I'm going to hide this one and we will make changes to this shadow, and then we will be able to compare all those shadows and how things are affected by it and how a realistic shadow might look or might not look. In fact, I can push it up and down later on, and that's the next thing coming up to make a more realistic shadow. All right, now let's start working with this text and let's try to make this drop shadow more realistic. So I'm going to double click here, and here we are in the layer style, and we already have one drop shadow. Now the first thing is, of course, is that we are going to reduce the opacity here. Earlier, as we looked at the default setting, it was at 35%. So let's bring it down to about 35%. Let's say I'll keep it to 30. That's the first thing. Now we don't want this to have too much of a distance. I'll keep it a little bit closer and I'll make it a little bit fuller by increasing the spread, but I will not increase the distance. The size is something that we can go by hit and trial, and I think since the shadow is falling from this side, so this side is lit up. If the light source is here and it's falling at 45-degree angle, this area will always be lit up and there will not be any shadow. So when I increase the distance, the moment the shadow spreads outwards here on the top, it doesn't make any sense. So we have to make sure that this area and this area, the left and the top, remains lit up. So we will reduce the distance and we'll keep it something like this. And now we can increase slightly the distance and think of how the spread should look like. And it's somewhere around this. So this is the first step, a 30% opacity. Now we are going to add another one, which would cover this outside area. I'll press OK for now. I'll zoom it in. And as you can see, this is the darkest area now. And we'll add bit more shadows here that will cover up the outer edges of the shadow by reducing the intensity and slightly changing the color and matching it with the background to make it look a lot more real. In fact, we can also change the color of this one. The whole purpose of reducing the opacity is to blend in the color that is in the background, so we can make changes accordingly. So what we can do is, in fact, I go back in here and click here on the drop shadow. I can make it up to 50%, and here I can try and sample the color, this one here, and make it a lot more darker, but not exactly black, somewhere around here. And I can press OK, and I can in fact think of increasing the opacity and try and see how it looks. And I think at around 50% it's fine. And now we'll add 2 more drop shadows to it. Let's go back here and add 1 here and 1 more here. But we have to be careful about the order in which the things are. This one is on the top, so this is the darkest one visible. This is below. So the distance here has, the settings has already been copied from the one that is above. So we know the distance is 19, red is 13, and the size is 15, and the opacity is 50%. So let's just reduce the opacity and make it to 30, since as the shadow spreads out, it begins to get more and more faded out. So we'll increase the distance and see it for ourselves somewhere around here. In fact, we can further decrease the opacity, because since it is on the multiply mode, it will multiply with the shadow that's above here on the top. So we can now make it 30, and we'll come down here. Since this one is 30, I'll make it very light to 10. And you can see this slight overlap here on the outside. We'll slightly increase the spread. It was a 13, and now this one is 35. I'll make it 30, and this one is 13. The spread, I'll make it 20 is fine, and the size here is 15, so we'll definitely increase the size of it and see how it changes. Yep, we want it to be blurrier. It's 15 here, and we'll make it to around 18, or maybe even in fact to 20. And the last one here, and we'll also change its color. We'll make it slightly lighter, not too light. And now we'll take this one, we'll increase the distance. This is 19, this is 30. So I'll make this somewhere around 37 and increase or decrease its opacity just to 5. And the spread will be about 20, and we will notice how it's there slightly, as you can see. Visible. We'll keep it light somewhere around here, and if we look at the size, we can also see the way it changes, and this should do the trick for us. And also change its color, and I'll make it even lighter and press OK. So what we have done is we have blended in the color that's around us. So if we remove this, we can see this is it. It's very, very light, almost invisible. And if we turn this on, we can see it now. Very light on the outside. There's a little bit on the inwards, and this one is the nearest one. So we'll add all these since the mode is multiply. So the overlapping shadows, drop shadows, add up and give us this from 30 plus 10, 40 to 45. So this is the maximum intensity with the varying colors that we can see here. So this is what we have achieved. And this way it can get a lot more realistic. And in fact, you can increase the distance if that's what you're targeting at. So I'm not spreading it out too much, but this is what it is to have a proper drop shadow. Now, if we compare it to the one that was here, we can see this is very intense, too dark, almost ghostly like on the background, which is not something that we want. This one, on the other hand, has a subtle effect added to it and gives us a lot more refined method or way on how to deal with shadows. And this is what we have achieved in this tutorial. Thank you so much for being around, and I'll be back soon.